Hello everybody, the iLord Root here. We are continuing directly from the previous episode, and we are putting together our prison. Now, the prison is going to be here largely because of the fact that prisoners just happen to need to be fed and taken care of, and when we take care of prisoners, we can recruit them, or we can release them into the environment. If they go back to a tribe, they will then improve your relations with them. If they're pirates, well, you get rid of room, or you create room for more in the way of prisoners, I guess. But we've now taken this down to where Sarai is doing her thing with the blocks, making sure that we are always supplied with something here. Now, eventually, and I'm going to do it here, I think, we actually want to put an air conditioner preemptively here. We're going to want that as well for a lot of things, actually. But the idea is that we just want to build this prison and not worry about it. That's why I bothered with blocks, because it's a whole lot harder to tear down the prison and replace the walls when you have somebody living in it. So I reckon we probably have enough. And once we're done with that, the next thing we're going to work on is a freezer. Now we got a mad animal here. Oh, what is that? A mad rat. Well, what we'll do, everybody over here. Not that a rat generally causes a lot of trouble. And that reminds me, actually, there's another thing we need to do while we're at it. We need to set up an animal area here. And right now, we'll just send our Yorkie into that animal area. This way he won't get attacked. Yeah, Sarai's been wounded just a little bit. So what we'll do, this is a good bed. Make it a medical bed. You can get treated. We will forbid for now this medicine, because that medicine is expensive. Let's see, who is responsible for doctoring? I think Sten is our doctor. Yeah, go ahead and eat Sten. There we go. Eventually, we are going to want to get a hospital going. You're already patched up, so we'll just get all of this taken care of here. And we need everybody to do their thing. Sten, I would actually like you to work on this blueprint here. You can see it's already pretty hot out. It's something to the tune of 20, 30 degrees Celsius. Which means we have to be careful with what we do. Another thing, speaking of which, that we want to get going, because we have just killed a rat, we want to get our freezer going. Now, our freezer is going to be a little special here, because this guy is going to, of course, need air conditioning. That just sort of goes without saying. But there's also the fact that we're going to want to expand it in time. So I'm just going to put some spots here where we could possibly do that. I'll get an AC built. And eventually, because of the size of the spot here, we are going to want to get this all taken care of. I see we still happen to have this here. The hauling is because I put that person's crafting priority on a 1. It is actually really important for me right now to do this. So I don't mind doing it, but that's going to have to come down eventually. Now, in order to make this a prison, I'm going to build a bed. Just 1 for now. Where's that at? If we get a good bed out of it, which we may, we can transfer it down. This is going to be a 4-prisoner area here. And we'll just get rid of this guy. You can right-click to not read the message. So yeah, we're doing alright here. We should have this done, but that leaves now a particular problem here, which is that we need power. Now, power is sort of a non-trivial thing, if I do say so myself. There is a lot that we're going to have to do with respect to that, so I'm just going to go ahead and place everything out here. We want to get out here, and we can come out either this way. Probably better to come out this way. I'm going to start with 1 solar panel here, which will feed directly into our freezer. We're going to want to build a battery as well. Might want to do that during the day. This is the part to where things like components really do begin to matter. Because without them, I'm not going to be able to build all these things. Now, I'm going to slowly replace all of the walls here. And that will essentially allow us to do pretty much make this thing a little bit stronger, because wood burns, as it turns out. I think I would really also just temporarily, because we have plenty of wood, let's go to production. Maybe it's miscellaneous furniture. Maybe one of these guys happens to have a table of some kind up here, and in fact, I'll go ahead and put the butcher table up here. We'll just put it here. It'll warn us about that. We're gonna make that inside eventually. But what we can do is somewhere around here. It's not under miscellaneous. Maybe it's under temperature. The campfire. We are just going to build a campfire in here, and we'll set that to cook. I don't know if we can quite butcher anything. Sten, you cannot construct. Not that that rat's really worth a lot of meat. In fact, it may not be worth doing. That rat's worth 19 meat. We can get a meal out of it. Which... okay, maybe that's an okay thing. But I'd rather not worry myself with the cooking just yet. Why don't we get Sarai to go off a crafting level 1 and help build this thing then? Because these people really enjoy what they're doing, I think Sarai actually has a strong desire to do construction. She'll probably surpass Raven before too long. I wouldn't be surprised if it wouldn't be before the end of the year. And we've still got plenty of crafting to do. So, the idea is going to be to get this thing constructed. In fact, why don't we, while we're at it, because we should. I'm going to run some power down through here. Now, it's usually a good idea to run power through the walls, because if you have batteries, what can happen? Just let Raven do that real quick. What can happen with that is you can have a discharge and it'll set things on fire. Let's get our thing built here too. And there's a heat wave, so we need to actually do some work then on this. How close are we to finishing? Hopefully not too long. Throughout the night, it'll be okay. Extend, can I get you to harvest these? Because they will no longer be useful to us. Why have you given up on constructing that? Unfortunately, because it is solar power, it's not going to be available through the night. We still have some of this though, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take these limestone blocks, I'm going to drag them across here. And we'll tear down that wall, put down some temperature. Now where are we? You're there. Overall, this should be turned off for the time being. We're not quite ready for it. Sarai, do this. Get this taken care of for me, please. We're not going to have it, unfortunately, for tonight. However, we will have it soon. And we can run power through this now. That would probably be a wise thing to do. There's a possibility, if there's a fire here, that this guy will catch on fire. Very high probability, actually. But unfortunately, it's something that must be taken care of. And we'll get that roofed in tomorrow. That rat spoils in a day. Which means it would be good if we have our first bill here. We're going to butcher the creature. We're going to tear down everything in here, I think. And then we'll take this out as well. We've got probably a phenomenal amount of wood. Yeah, we've got enough for us to lay down a floor. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a zone in. And in this zone, we are going to do a number of things. This is going to be priority important. And this is going to only consist of food. Put anything in there like that. We will put herbal medicine because it decays over time as well. And finally, corpses. Now for corpses, unless we get a cannibal, we just only want animal corpses. It'll make hunting a lot easier. And how are we on the blocks? We need more of them. That means before too long we can turn this on again. And we can get some cooking done. Now it's going to be the case eventually that we will run out of food. So that's part of why we're doing this, because first of all, we want to be able to hunt, and hunt in large amounts. And there we go, we have a little bit of meat there. And we're building all that off. That's technically a complete building now. We can designate the power on that and set that down below freezing. I'm going to set it to -5. I think is a good thing for it. We can also, in addition to that, probably build an electric stove. It's going to complain about being outside, but why can't we build that? It's because we don't have any blocks, do we? Okay, why don't we focus on getting blocks going? That will be your primary goal here. Meanwhile, Raven can take down everything. We can... Really, what we should do is we should put down a floor in here. Otherwise, we can look forward to getting food poisoning in the future. And probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Put down a battery as well. Now I'm going to put it in here, and you'll see we're actually out of steel at this point. Which is not so great. We're going to have to designate some people to mine. But there is a patch of steel pretty close to where we're located. So that's not as bad as it could be. So the way I like to approach this is something kind of like this. We haven't really had a raid yet. I'm going to assume there's steel in there. Eventually, we're going to need to do exploratory mining. And for that to really make too much in the way of sense, we're going to have to hope for a good miner. And we have our first raid. Now, where is he coming from? He's probably got a club. The Rats of Hostility. Yeah. He has a club and a loincloth. He is a pyromaniac. I will not be taking him. He's not really good for much. So that's okay, because what that means... I'll talk about that building here in a bit, but what that means is we're going to get another guy, and we can put him in prison. It doesn't always happen, unfortunately, that we end up with that. So the way we're going to deal with this is these guys are going to be like that. They're not so good. Sarai has a knife. We're going to get her behind cover. See if we can... attract any attention. They're probably really close to us, actually. Oh no, they're waiting. Then attacking. Okay, you can go back to what you're doing then. But we're going to want to prepare this thing to come down eventually. Nobody is... Oh, you're sort of set to mine. We're going to put a thing up here. Make this a room. This will be a room as well. This will be our secondary freezer if we ever need it. Overflow storage. So very well. Okay, they're ready. Let's get everybody out here. You come up to the front. Sten. Go like that. And go like that. We may need to get some... Yeah, he's coming up to the top, I think. So, that means then you're better off down here. Who are you targeting? We're gonna lead this guy in circles. He's got go juice. I'd hoped to not really have a need to build this thing, but it looks like we need to. We've got somebody with a chemical fascination, and that's not the best thing in the world to have. So I'm gonna build me a drug vault. How many limestone? Oh, we have 59. Let's put this on hold then real quick. This can wait. This is much, much more important to build. So this drug vault, do any drug manufacturing, which we will. Yeah, that guy's gonna go like that, which means this guy needs to go like that. We'll forbid this for now. And just hope that nobody gets depressed enough. Or, because what tends to happen is when people are hungry, this is critical, by the way, or not when people are hungry, I guess you could sort of describe it as being hungry for drugs, I don't know. But when people go on drug binges, let's not put the smoke leaf in there. The wake up and the yayo will go in there, though. I need that to be constructed as soon as possible. Which reminds me, this guy will have you... No, don't inject it. Oh, that would be bad. I'm gonna strip you of your clothing as well. Is it Sten? He's not so fond of the drugs. Let's get everything out of here that we can. Sten, please harvest the oak tree. Please harvest that. No, please hold that. Sarai, you're cutting stone blocks. In this particular case, I want you to construct. And we're gonna put up a wooden wall. Because they're not going to get so addicted that they bash down the walls. And that usually helps with drug binges. Now, there are people who... No, you're... I might cause one at this rate. They are still going to work on that, I'm sorry, it's, you lack materials. Okay, Sarai, well, you're going to make the materials then. But the thing is that eventually we'll get, and we may already have it actually. Do we have it? Not yet. Eventually we'll get orbital communications. Let's see. We're going to work on that now. No. Okay. You can go to bed for a little bit. It's risky business, this. Oh, and I forgot to set something as well. This... Or maybe I didn't. Stith can't really cook yet. Yeah, we're consuming all of our power at the moment. Let me just double check something. I bet you we stopped working on that because we ran out of mining. Okay. You can work on that. We have low food. In fact, we have 1 day of food left. Not the best thing that could possibly happen, I must admit. We can get cooking up and going. I'll be quite happy. Let's just get this guy worked out here. There we go. That part inside's going to be unroofed, unfortunately. We can fix that the next time we make a transaction with it. Do we have steel? We do. Which means I need you to work on the power conduit as quickly as you can. Now that we've done that, Sarah, you can go back. We've got our first... Oh, sadness died due to malnutrition. Bonded animal sadness died. But you've cut him up nonetheless. Well, that's not so great, but that's okay. We didn't really want you anyway, to be honest. I know that's a mean thing to say to an animal, but I'm not really all that fond of Yorkies. I mean, in real life, I'm fine with them. But in Rimworld, they're just not that great. So, yeah, let's just go ahead, move forward a bit, see if we can get all this constructed. We'll leave this behind here. We've got low food. Hopefully, nobody's cooking because we don't have any bills. Let's set that up real quick before we do. We're going to want to start by cooking fine meals and then simple meals. And what I'm going to say is the following with respect to that. We're going to do it until we have... We've got 3 people, 15, 5 days worth. And we'll go to 25 actually. If we get down to 12, that might be a reasonable thing to do. 20. We'll turn on hysteresis. We only want people who can cook doing this. And we will allow anything aside from... Oh, I did the wrong one. Okay. I think we have at least somebody with 5 here. We have 25 meals available to us. We can't do hysteresis for... Oh, because we're not doing until we have... Yeah, we'll do 10 meals. That's a little bit more in 2 a day. And this does need to go to the best stockpile in both cases. Okay. We're almost ready, I think, to begin doing research. Let me just get everything built, and we will see how to deal with this. Raven, unfortunately, we're gonna have that for a season. You'll get over it, I guess. It's the only thing I can really say. You'll pretty much have to. One thing that we could do to make that a little bit better is we could, once we finish building this compound, begin working on rooms. But we'll have to see. Anyway, I'll let you know when something interesting starts to happen. Okay, we have a refugee. She's 21, she's a roboticist. Well, that's all for safety, for now. Oh, and you're completely naked. Let's see what you have. You're depressive. But you're 11 crafting. And you're decent with construction, which means we now have a good reason to handle this. Now, how many people do we have in this raid? We have 1 to 1. Alright, you go. Don't put on the dead man's pants, please. I'd rather you have a weapon, to be honest. These guys are going to be coming soon. Might as well get that as well. Even though we might need that bad. Okay. Best thing for us to do, probably, if we take a look at this, this should give us some 50% cover. My guess is these guys are coming down here, so Sten... guys would get down here. We'll adjust as needed. Gun would probably be better. We might actually get a prisoner out of this. Minor break risk probably from Mao. Let's see where our raiding team has gone. I would like to get that gun, honestly. I think they are coming down this way. If I can... if I can get this guy out here like that. Oh, Guerra. Oh, there's some mills up there too. Okay, be prepared to defend yourself. Okay. We're not gonna get that gun, unfortunately. Can we get that guy there? If we can, that would be nice. Mal, I know you're in no mood, but see if you can track him down. Sten. Same. I think you're just probably bruised. Be nice if we could beat this guy down, because I bet you we'd have... Oh, he's got creepy breathing. Really fast. Okay, you guys come on down here. And we're finally catching up to him. There we go. Well, let's see, we might maybe deal with the creepy breathing if he is... He's a doctor. And he cooks. He's industrious. Okay. Why not? You capture Scarlet. Have you stand. Please haul the assault rifle. And there's ambrosia as well. Ambrosia is a drug. We're gonna have to begin hunting soon. Ultimately, though, I think things went pretty well with that battle. We got a prisoner out of it, which is more than you could really say about a lot of things. And yeah, Sten, you won't get infected, but honestly, I want you to briefly rest until healed. Let's see, who's our doctor? Our doctor is Sten. Okay, I want you then to tend to Sarai, please. This is no longer a medical guide. Now, he's probably... Oh, he's got a peg leg. Oh, he's got an ambrosia addiction. Awful prison cell. Well, I'm sorry about that. I mean, I should probably take him. It doesn't really matter that he has a peg leg, because at least we don't have to worry about him not being able to walk. But yeah, let's go ahead. We'll chat and recruit for now. Now, generally these guys, despite being... Oh, he's feeling good for some reason. He didn't like Hercules. Despite these guys being... I guess the easiest way to put it is your prisoners. Despite all that, it's usually a good idea to try to take care of them if you can. And because of that... Oh, let's see, we want to get this person taken care of. You'll craft when you have nothing left to build, I think. And you will craft as a matter of course. You're gonna get a 4 there. You're gonna be a patient. Camp warden. Probably shouldn't hunt. And actually, Raven probably should begin hunting before too long. Oh, what do we have here? Who's mining? Everybody can do a little bit of mining, I suppose, for now, just because we need it done. And you then will be on number 2. We need to put you on a schedule. Let's put you on that one. Can you cook at all? Do you have any passion for cooking, actually? Probably not. Yeah, you're incapable of it, actually. But that'll be good, because you're our intellectual, which means that we can begin with the process of doing some research. That would definitely be a thing, I think. And might just go ahead and do it. We need a little bit of steel for research, unfortunately. But we've got our much better constructors working on this. In fact, sorry, if I could now get you to deconstruct the wall in here. Okay. No, maybe we won't. But that's okay. You're topping up on your joy, which is acceptable. And there we go. We have a minor break risk. It's probably Mal because she doesn't have any clothing. Let's do this. Let's see maybe if we can get a crafting spot here. Y'all are done with that, so get some limestone blocks. And let's get the power run over here as well. And with the crafting spot, what can we hunt? Can we hunt a turkey? I saw one wandering around here. I think a turkey would be good to hunt if we can find it. Alternatively, we can find animals. Oh, well, that's nice. We'll hunt that turkey. Primarily because the leather, but the meat would be good too. And Sarai, if you will, you're okay. I see what you're doing. It'll take forever, unfortunately. Are you giving up? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess you need to. You are the warden. That one's gonna be a little hard to recruit, even as things are. Raven... Oh yeah, that's important to do as well. Please continue to hunt. I'd rather you hunt than clean. We will eventually want a dedicated hunter though. And that will probably be Scarlet. She's also a doctor, I think. Yeah. And I think, come to think of it, let's see who our other doctor is. That would be... Do we have anybody that is, I thought we had somebody that was an ascetic. Which means that yeah. This guy is... He hates Um, so we need to keep a stock of, well, he can eat raw food. Actually, it's not such a bad deal. What are you doing? Oh, you're... That's fine. Let's... You know, we could tame that one. Alpacas are nice because they generate alpaca wool. We do like that. We do like it when they generate alpaca wool. Let's reinstall here, so finally this guy can be taken care of. Go bed, Raven. We got you on this other schedule, I think, so maybe not. But we're now at a point to where we need to harvest a bunch of these guys here. We don't quite have enough food to tide us over until the next... Well, actually, we may be good on the rice. It's 9%. So, that's, I guess, in a nutshell, the way we would sort of go about that. We still need to really begin doing a lot of the basic building here. Preferably, we should get this before too long indoors. And I think we may be good with the amount of coolers that we have. See, we need another cooler right now. We might want to go ahead, set this up. Let's see, make me some tribal wear. Probably irritated because you're wearing... Oh, you don't seem to mind wearing dead man's clothing, actually. You just care that it's worn out. Because you've got bloodlust. Well, that's kind of nice. You're also depressive, which is not the best still, but you know what? You're decent. Now, I will say this, you generally, even in the early stages of the game, you have the right to be choosy. And that can make a bit of a difference for you. Definitely, I think it's correct to be choosy. Because, especially since we can only handle 16, we could probably handle more. But you never know. But, you know, either way, you want to make it to where it's still 21 degrees in there. That's good. That is... We need to get another cooler in there, I think. But yeah, you know, I was going to say at any rate that you want to be very, very careful about taking people that really aren't that good. And it's not really a bad thing to just go ahead and say, that's leaking out. I kind of figured that would happen. No materials. Ah, but Raven is handling it. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to, the thing you want to avoid really is having people who don't carry their weight as much. It doesn't really matter if, well, you know, it doesn't really matter if they have some drawbacks, as long as they're not too bad. So that's why I chose Scarlet, for instance. Although the depressive is sort of a bad thing, I think we can get around that, though, because Scarlet likes doing medicine and likes shooting and cooking, which actually means a great deal. And she's going to be constantly hunting for us as well. So if we can get her to do her thing, we should probably begin making this one a little bit more desirable for Scarlet while putting in a horseshoe pen. Eventually, when we learn to make pemmican, which shouldn't take too long actually, so we've got a great deal of stuff going on. Need more structure. But when we learn to make pemmican, you know what, we'll put this in over here. Like so. Then we can put pemmican in that room, and people will be fed. Now, another thing we're going to have to eventually do is build a little storage area. That could be coming up pretty soon, actually. In fact, okay, what I'm going to do, I would normally put the animals in on this side, but given the fact that we have all this mud over here, I think it would be wise for now to turn this to our storage area, our larger one. We're gonna repurpose that later on. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and assume these guys here are going to be indoors. Well, quasi-indoors. They'll eventually turn to bedrooms, I think. But for right now, it actually doesn't make too much sense for us to have a bedroom there, so I'm just going to leave it as storage. We'll do that here too, actually. This will be our overflow storage here. Yeah, I'll get, let's see, that is 5. I'm gonna want a door here. A couple of doors here as well. There's no reason for these people to come out here otherwise, because they can incidentally crawl over the solar panels. So we'll do that. We will begin to get this little area routed out here. And I'm just going to go ahead. And there's just really one more thing we need to do here while we're at it, because of the fact that we've got solar panels, we can't put a roof over them. And it would be a bad idea, I think, to put a roof over this geothermal. Some people swear by it, of course, but because you can use it for heat management, it's not as easy to do if you don't have mods installed. So, Scarlet has been healed. You know what? Well, you're going to be done with your addiction soon, I think. I would actually much rather sell than ambrosia because it's not much. It's not much, and I feel that if we do build up rapport with Scarlet, which may not happen incidentally, but if we do, then we are going to enable her addiction. She's otherwise a decent character aside from having that depressive attribute. And anyway, we need the help. Oh, you know what I forgot to do here? You can't clean, so you shall haul. It's very important that this stuff gets hauled in. Now, eventually, what we're going to want is we are going to want to get dogs out here. Major breakthroughs, Calcon. Oh wait, no, you were just the one with the creep. You're feeling terrible, you're in a dull barrack. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for a while, I will say that. Do until we... Let's not do that. We're gonna have Smoke Leaf pretty soon. Let's get some Smoke Leaf going. Do until we have... I think 10 will be enough. Need to set a regime with the Smoke Leaf, because you can do it one a day. One a day is... Let's see, 4 addictions, you can do it. I'm going to put you on a schedule here, once every 2 days. Because otherwise, there just won't be any left. You can do it if your mood is below 30, I'll say. And joy is also below 30. That may be a little bit too conservative. Then again, it may be too liberal. That's the thing with these guys here, is that you never really know. But Mao is almost done with that. I'm going to suspend this bill for now. I want stuff hauled in. And I feel it's going to be very important for us to do that. So there we go. Our research room is almost done. We could do with some light in here too, come to think of it. I'm going to probably want to begin to run some stuff down. We need mining on a fairly decent priority. Is anybody decent at mining? Only Sten. And Sten is our grower. Well, that's a shame. I mean, at least this guy's comfortable. Let's see, what do we have here? That is not quite what I wanted. Keep this 5 degrees. That should come down. I think the next thing we should do, though, is probably bedrooms. I think it makes sense to do bedrooms. And with bedrooms, we're going to need a lot more steel before we attempt it. But, well, actually, that's not true. I do want to get the main compound built before we attempt bedrooms, though. So, anyway, we'll leave it at that for now. This has been Thy Lord Root, and I shall see you